Strange things happened in Peppa's house that morning. The little pigs were still peacefully sleeping in their rooms until Peppa Pig was suddenly woken up by a noise outside her bedroom door. She saw someone open the door, but when she tried to look, the door quickly shut. Peppa decided to get out of bed and check what was going on. As Peppa stepped out of her room, she accidentally bumped into a monster in the hallway. The little pig screamed in fright and ran downstairs, quickly hiding in the kitchen. The foolish monster didn't see Peppa hiding behind the door. It finally walked into the basement. Peppa quickly closed the kitchen door, leaning against it, feeling much safer. But as she walked toward the dining table, she suddenly encountered a cartoon dog. At that moment, Peppa began to be chased by the creature, until someone knocked on the kitchen door, making Peppa's situation even worse. Now, the little pig was completely surrounded by two monsters, and that night, Peppa's house was filled with her desperate screams. The next evening, heavy rain started falling, and Peppa and George were quietly watching TV. Suddenly, the TV started having connection issues, and it seemed to be affecting George as well. Then, the monster appeared again outside Peppa's window. It began banging on the window non-stop, but the pigs didn't seem to care. However, when they decided to take a look outside, the monster was gone again. But even so, the pigs were terrified, and they started running in despair, stopping only when they heard someone knocking at the door. When the door opened, they found it was Daddy Pig, carrying a bottle of alcohol as he entered from outside. At that moment, they breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that all this time, Daddy Pig had been playing tricks on them. However, when they returned to their room, they saw the terrifying monster sitting there watching TV, and instantly, they were attacked again. The next day, the rain stopped, and Daddy Pig sat in the living room watching TV. Suddenly, Peppa appeared, with a funny expression on her face. It turned out she was looking for her lost toy. Daddy Pig said the toy was probably in the basement. Peppa was happy to hear that, and immediately went to the basement to find her toy. However, Peppa didn't realize the toy was actually on the stairs. She walked straight toward the basement. Strangely enough, the door shut automatically after she entered. When she reached the bottom of the stairs, Peppa turned on the light, but the light only made the basement seem even scarier. At that moment, Peppa Pig felt true fear, but she kept going, her steps becoming slower and shorter as she looked around for her toy. Suddenly, she heard a noise that made her legs tremble, and she accidentally knocked over a can behind her. At that moment, Peppa Pig started running in despair, but she bumped right into the terrifying monster. This time, she couldn't escape the monster's pursuit.